Celestia Astrology. I'm Sonia, and today I'm going to be looking at the new moon in Taurus on the 8th of May in the UK, but it's probably falling on the 7th of May if you're in the US or different time zones, because it's very early in the morning. It's about 4:30 in the morning in the UK. So if your timing is behind the UK, then it may well fall on the 7th for you. So this time of the new moon in Taurus is a potent time for planting seeds of new beginnings. And in Taurus, it's focused on security, pleasure, and abundance. New moons always represent fresh starts, new cycles, and offer us the potential for setting intentions if we want to look afresh at our lives and our goals. And in Taurus, we see two rulers. The domicile ruler is Venus and the exaltation ruler is the moon. And that's why this particular moon stands out, because both the moon and Venus are going to be present in Taurus during this moon, which doesn't always happen. So it does make it particularly interesting. It means that the energy of Venus and the moon are amplified, and with Venus it's a time to connect with our senses in Taurus. We can indulge in self-care or prioritise what brings us joy and stability. Venus is a pleasure-loving planet of joy, love, peace and harmony. And in Taurus we're looking at a focus on production and the need for balance. Because Venus herself is also in Taurus, we're doubling down on these themes of pleasure, comfort and grounding. And because we also see the moon exalted in Taurus, this means that the moon is being treated as an honoured guest here in Taurus, being able to enact all of the moon's significations of seeing to our inner needs, our nurturing and caring needs. So the moon is also operating at its highest potential and bringing a sense of ease and natural flow. We also see present in Taurus the separating Jupiter-Uranus conjunction. They're still within the 3 degrees of engagement that Hellenistic astrologers count as a conjunction. So although they are beginning to separate, the fact that the moon will meet this conjunction once it leaves the new moon, this is the next aspect it will make, is to meet Jupiter and Uranus. This brings to the new moon a sense of expansive energy and a desire to break free from limitations. It's an awakening, and it amplifies the ability to make a fresh start with anything that the Jupiter-Uranus conjunction might have brought up for you. This can be fueling our ambition or encouraging us to dream big within the realm of Taurus's focus. For example, things like finances and security and our personal values, and focus on what we are nurturing and growing within our own personal metaphorical garden of resources for ourselves, so our own skills as well. Taurus is a fixed sign, and fixed signs are known for stability and determination and resilience, and sometimes it can also be stubbornness or tunnel vision. They can be so focused on completing the task in hand that they might not see other alternatives or other possibilities. They might not have the flexibility that mutable signs do, or the ability to initiate that cardinal signs do. But they're certainly the sign when you want to get something completed, that a fixed sign is the time. So a new moon in a fixed sign, such as Taurus, is inviting us to harness this fixed energy to create lasting structures and routines that are going to support our goals in a longer term. Things that we need to see through to completion, things that we need more support to see through. And it's also relevant to note that another significant aspect of this new moon is that both Venus and Jupiter are coming under the beams of the sun and entering combustion. And this is when they're so close to the sun that they start to be blinded out by the light of the sun. So they lose their ability, and Venus is beginning her journey into the underworld before she is reborn, before she re-emerges out from under the beams of the sun. However, when she's in her own sign, such as Taurus, then she's regarded as being in her chariot. And that means that she's not harmed by the beams of the sun, that other planets may be harmed when they're not in their own sign. So that means that the benefic quality of Venus isn't affected while she's in Taurus. But Venus won't reach her Cazimi moment until June, when she's in Gemini. So we may notice a difference in Venus's qualities once she moves into Gemini, and that combustion be likely to be more felt. And with Jupiter, we'll see a Cazimi for Jupiter on the 18th of May. and that'll be when the Sun reaches Jupiter, and Jupiter will be what is called in the heart of the Sun, when the two are together in the sky, almost like the same thing as a new moon when they're together and their energies are blended. And that's a particularly benefic time when we have a benefic planet like Jupiter. So that's a good date to note down on your calendars if you're planning to launch something either with this new moon or around the time of the Jupiter cazimi on the 18th. So if we look at the aspects of this new moon, the moon is forming a harmonious sextile with Saturn in Pisces, and that can be bringing a sense of discipline and practicality to our intentions. Saturn is the planet of limitations and boundaries, but also very pragmatic, and this is a good time to set realistic goals and allow Saturn to help us create a plan to achieve them. However, there's also a whole sign square to Pluto. This isn't an exact degree engagement in the way that the sextile with Saturn is. It's a whole sign square, which means that the signs are able to see each other. The sign of Aquarius is square to the sign of Taurus, and so the planets are in a wider relationship, which is less intense. And Pluto is the planet of empowerment and transformation, and it's currently retrograding in Aquarius, heading back towards Capricorn. And this aspect could bring up deep-seated desires and the need to confront any limiting beliefs around Taurus issues such as abundance and security. It's a powerful opportunity for us to release what we have outgrown and to make space for our future transformations. After all, new energy can only come in when the old is released. When we're still clinging on, we can't make that shift. And Pluto is often the planet that shows us the shadow side of things. The darker side. Pluto's known as the Lord of the Underworld. So it's often the deeper things that might be in our subconscious or might be revealed to us through dreams. And also, if we look at the decan that this new moon falls in, it falls within the decan of Taurus 2, and that's associated with balance and the natural rhythm of life. It emphasises the importance of pacing ourselves, enjoying the journey and trusting the process. And if you're watching the video of this, you can see that I've added the illustration card from the Wild Way Oracle deck, which is by Nicole and Art. And in it we see that this decan, she's been titled Give to Receive, and she shows us 3 badgers and they're dancing with the 3 moons in the different cycles, and it shows us that this decan of Taurus 2 is the fixed of the fixed. Taurus as a fixed sign, but also Taurus 2 as the fixed decan within it as the middle decan. And it's also reminding us to go with the natural flows of the rhythm, that there's a time for work and a time for play, and at night the badgers can relax and play because they've done their work of the day. And she's given us the keywords here for Taurus 2 of work and pleasure, that it's important to have both in our lives. For seasonal rhythms, that our lives flow with more ease when we match the rhythms of the seasons rather than try to work against them. And also for fertility and fecundity, because this is the time of spring when there would be spring rituals, the May Day ritual, and fertility is a symbol of this time. So this all means that for Taurus there is a profound rebirth in the realms of love, pleasure, financial abundance, and what we value, what we're choosing to nurture and grow, and how we do that, how we plan for it, and how we look after it and care for it in alignment with the seasonal, and to cultivate a lifestyle that can nourish our soul and therefore bring us more lasting joy than with greater ease together with this new moon. So it's a good time to set some intentions around these themes if you're planning on beginning any projects or planting any metaphorical seeds, to indulge in self-care, to reflect. It's about doing the work and planning carefully and planting your seeds and nurturing them carefully, making sure that they're looked after by the seasons, that they have the appropriate water, sun. In the analogy of planting a seed, like literally that you plant it in fertile earth, for example. But whatever you're planning, to make sure that you plan for the best that you can and eliminate any possible obstacles ahead of time, and then that you continue to nurture and monitor throughout the process of growth. And while this cazimi with Jupiter will bring powerful potential just after the new moon, the true magic of Taurus lies in the consistent effort and work and dedication that Taurus embodies. And this new moon is inviting us to embrace a more sensual and grounded approach to life. Venus in Taurus is very much about the senses and She enjoys all aspects of beauty, however it manifests within, and how all of our senses can appreciate it. For example, fragrances and textures and music to the ears. You know, if all of our senses can be satisfied, it's a reminder to slow down and just allow our senses to appreciate the moment, to be in the moment, and to appreciate those simple pleasures that can come from being fully present. It offers us a chance to redefine what security and abundance truly mean to us when we reflect on that, and to cultivate a lifestyle that can nourish our soul and therefore bring us more lasting joy than passing material items. So it's a good time to set some intentions around these themes if you're planning on beginning any projects or planting any metaphorical seeds, to indulge in self-care, to reflect on how you're nourishing your senses, how you look after all of them. And please, if you've enjoyed this, feel free to leave a comment below with your thoughts or experiences on this new moon. If you need my help to identify what house this is falling in for you, what house Taurus occupies in your chart, this would give you more information on what to expect. For example, if Taurus is in your first house, then it would be about yourself and your body, and if it falls in your 10th house, it's more likely to be about your career. And if it's in your 7th house, it's more about your relationships and other people in your life, the people that you have closer relationships with, like business partners or people who you see most days of your life. So I'm really grateful if you've enjoyed this content and found it helpful. If you could like, subscribe or comment, it really helps the channel to grow. And when you're a small channel trying to reach out and help others, I really do appreciate it to have your support. Thank you so much.